trying to become Harley Quinn. It'd be awesome. If I could just have like one day to become Harley Quinn and just like have no consequences for, like if I could just like have one day and then come back to being me, I would love that. Hey guys, and welcome to today's video. So as you can see already, today we are going to be doing a little bit of Halloween fun, a little bit of Halloween makeup. And if you haven't guessed already, we're going to be creating this Harley Quinn makeup look. I am going to be walking you step by step through how I created this look. I had so much fun creating this. I hope you guys enjoy. I have like a super weird obsession with Harley Quinn. Like, I don't know, like I just think I feel like it's the part of me that's like, I wish I could just be like a bad, you know what I mean? Like that like mysterious, like I don't care about anything, danger, adrenaline seeking part of me. But then realistically, I'm just like that mom who is like, okay, everybody, like let's wash our hands when we get home. Don't let the germs hurt us. So it's really not me, but it was fun dressing up. So hope you guys enjoy. Thank you so much for watching. So I'm just going to put my hair back for now, and then we're gonna actually do my hair together as well. And we're actually going to be starting with the face. Typically, if I was doing like a bright, colorful eye, I would do the face last, but because I want to make sure I'm able to like make sure everything's planned out for the lower lash line, because the majority of the eyeshadow is actually on kind of coming down her face, I'm going to actually do my face first. And also, half of the time in the movies, she looks like her face is all dirty anyways, so if we end up with a bit of fallout, we'll just make it work. So let's start with face, and I'm actually going to be using a product I got in my recent BoxyCharm box. I'm just currently testing it, and it is by Laura Geller. It is the Spackle Skin Perfecting Primer. It's supposed to be a moisturizer and primer in one. When choosing my foundation, I actually chose these two because they're some of the lightest foundations, and in the movies and everything, she is super pale. Like it almost looks white. So I want it to look really pale. She doesn't really have blush. She doesn't really have contour or bronzer on. It's just like super pale with like the focus on the eyes and the lips. And I also wanted full coverage, number one, to cover up these blemishes, but also because she does look so white, I kind of want to cover what tan I have on my face. So I'm going to start with my Hourglass Vanish foundation stick. I'm going to put a couple swipes on, and then over top to also assist blending, but also to add additional coverage, I'm going to go in with some of my ColourPop Pretty Fresh. The foundation stick is in Alabaster, and the ColourPop Pretty Fresh is in Fair 20N. I'm not going to do as much of the ColourPop as I normally would, but I'm going to go over with this. First, I'm going to do just some blending to ensure that there's no like harsh lines, that we get these lines worked out. And then once they're worked out a bit, I'm going to go over with some ColourPop. I actually might go in with my brush. I don't know why I didn't just do that. Okay, so now that we have the foundation on, I'm going to go in with concealer. I'm going to be using my Tarte Shape Tape as it's one of my more full coverage concealers, but it's also, again, one of my lightest. This is in the shade Fair Beige. I'm also going to go over my ears as they're a little bit red after putting safety pins in them. So I'm now going to set down this face with my Maybelline Fit Me powder. This is in the shade Fair. So I'm going to go in not only to just set the face, but also it will make it even whiter because it's quite pigmented. Ouch. That hurt. Number one, I never wear earrings. Also, I never wear safety pins as earrings. I don't know if I recommend this, guys. It's really probably not safe. Okay, so now I'm gonna go ahead and do brows. I am just going to use my pomade by Anastasia Beverly Hills. I do have it in the shade dark brown. I do normally do this first before I do my face, but I am gonna do a little bit of my brow freeze first. Just a little bit to make the hairs stand up a little bit more. Not like as intense as I normally would, but as I said, just enough, because she does have kind of like feathery brows. Not really. It just looks like she has naturally full and messy brows. So that's why I kind of want to do a little bit of this, but they are quite like full and dark. So now that I have the brow freeze in, I am going to go in with an angled liner brush with some of my Anastasia pomade, as I said, in dark brown. And I'm just going to start adding pigmentation throughout. Not really worrying about being super precise. As I said, her brows do kind of look pretty messy. Her brows look a little bit more angled, so I'm not going to super square them off. So now we're going to go ahead and do eyes, which is obviously the biggest feature of this whole look. I'm going to start with MAC Paint Pot to lay a really good base. I'm also going to do a little bit underneath. I'm not going to go like all the way down, but I just want a little bit underneath the eyes so that there is some, you know, something for the eyeshadow to really grasp on and be extremely pigmented. If you actually take a look at the photos of Harley Quinn, she has blue on her left side and pink, like a pinkish red on her right side, and it is coming down her face. I'm gonna be going off of 2 palettes for the blue. I'm kind of everywhere with the palettes today. I do apologize. If you have a palette that has a bunch of different fun colors, I recommend going off of that. I just did not have a palette that had like nice hot pinks and then also like those nice dark deep navy blues. So we're going off of a couple palettes here. So for the blue, I'm actually gonna be going off of my Lush Life palette because it has a nice rich dark navy blue, and then I'm gonna also use the Laura Lee Party Animal palette for this like a bit brighter blue. As you can see, these are the 2 shades I'm gonna be going off of. So I'm gonna kind of utilize both of those to kind of create an in-between, nice deep, but also that brightness of the one from the Party Animal palette. First, what we're going to do is actually start with a black liner because it looks like she has like the whole entire eye lined, like, you know, grade 8 full-on gothic liner. And then it looks like it blends up into blue, and then that's what comes pouring down the cheek. First, we're going to use the Natasha Denona Macro Tech Eye Crayon. I'm gonna start by just doing a line all the way across. I'm not too worried about it being thin because, as I said, number one, it's gonna be blending into a dark navy blue. And on the other side, same, it blends into the pink. It's just like her eyeshadow's kind of messy. So if you're not the greatest at keeping like clean lines, this might be the perfect one for you. Also going to put it on the waterline at the top. And also like in the inner part of your waterline, all across the lower waterline. This is bringing me back. And I'm gonna make it a little thicker on the outer edges. And it doesn't look like she has a wing, but it kind of goes out past the edge of her eye a little bit into kind of like a dull wing. So kind of like that. I'm actually gonna go ahead and do it on both sides because it's gonna be the same. So we've got liner on both sides. Again, they don't have to be perfect because you're gonna smudge them out anyways. So I'm first going to take the shade Monsoon from the ColourPop Lush Life palette. So I'm gonna take that shade, and I'm first going to take the nice like flat brush. So I'm just gonna start by overlapping that over the black, building it up, smudging it along that edge so that it blends into the black. I'm not gonna bring it up too high in the inner part. buffing back and forth to ensure that everything's blending together. Now that I have that, I'm gonna do the same. Ooh, we are getting some fallout. I'm just gonna try to kind of control that. You could do your eyes first. It's just that everything connects, so I just felt like it would be easier this way. So I'm gonna start doing the same thing on the lower lash line, but I'm gonna not bring the blue all the way in, like maybe to about 3/4. So now we're gonna be going into this bright blue from the Laura Lee Party Animal palette, which is the shade Karaoke. Again, you could just find like a really nice bright blue, like vibrant blue. I'm gonna take a larger, fluffier brush with that shade, and I'm just gonna blend that edge so that it looks a little bit more blended and just a little bit brighter as well. Bringing it basically up to the crease, but I don't want to go any further than that. I'm gonna take a clean, fluffy brush and just use that to actually blend the edges a little bit more so that everything looks a little more seamless. So I'm just gonna kind of leave it like that. That's as far as I'm gonna go on the lid. Now for the fun. So I'm gonna do the same with the bright blue on the bottom. I'm gonna blow it out a bit. Mainly on the outer half. Again, remember, we're bringing it all the way down, so I'm not really worrying how messy I'm being. Blend those edges, and it's okay if the blue comes down a bit, because if you actually look at her picture, it looks like she almost has like super dark under eyes. So I'm kind of going for that like tired look anyways. If you get fallout, just kind of blend it in so it looks like you're dirty, because half the time she looks like she's dirty. Just start using my small brush again. This was the Lavish eye shading brush with the dark blue from the ColourPop palette. And I'm gonna start on the edge of my eye and kind of start to go downwards like that. So this is where I want it to be kind of darkest. It almost looks like she cried and just the makeup melted down her face. So I'm having it kind of connect here, but then I also want it to go down in a couple different streams. You can go as far as you want. If you don't want it to be too crazy, you don't have to bring it so low. I'm gonna use this brush with the light blue. I haven't added any product, but I'm just gonna blend this edge out. I kind of want to make the lines coming down a little more precise. I'm gonna take a little bit more like flat brush. So you kind of want it to look like there's like lines coming down your face, but also kind of messy. Okay, so that's the blue one done. I'm now going to go onto the pink side. So we're basically gonna do the exact same thing, but with pink. I'm actually going to use the Morphe Jaclyn Hill palette for this because it is my favorite for like these bright pinks. I'm gonna be using this shade here. It is the shade Dance Party. It's like hot pink, but it has more of like a reddish undertone. And then I'll be using this one here, Tipsy Girl, to kind of blend out. I am going to clean my brushes here. Just so I'm using the exact same brushes, making sure that the effect is the same. Make sure they're really clean though if you are going to reuse. So first I'm going to take my shading brush into the shade Dance Party, that more darker pink. And again, do the exact same thing as the blue side. Girl, that bright hot, like hot pink. On the fluffier brush, we're going to blend out those edges. Again, going to about the crease and not quite as high for the inner corner. Taking the clean brush, I'm going to blend all those edges out. Now taking the shading brush with the darker pink, I'm going to create the lines. I made the blue outside line a little bit longer. And I'm gonna just kind of use my clean brush that now will have a little bit of excess product to really kind of darken, without adding too much color, the inner corner and like kind of where your dark circle would be, to add that kind of like dark circle effect, because she does look like she has dark circles. I kind of forgot to do that with the blue. I'm gonna just pick up a little bit of this blue, kind of wipe off my excess so there's just a little bit, and do the same thing. Just so it looks like there's those dark circles. Cool. Like I said, she looks dirty. Do you know what I mean? Like she's been in a fight. So we kind of want to do that too. Okay, so the next thing that I'm going to do is mascara. It doesn't look like she has like really big lashes. And as I said, I really want to kind of recreate, like I really want to try to look as much like her as possible. So I am going to go in with some mascara, and I'm going to be using my Maybelline Sky High. All right, now that we have mascara on, I do think that the eyes are done. Now let's go ahead and do the few tattoos that she has on her face. She has a heart in her cheek, and then along here has the word rotten. So I'm gonna be using my Huda Beauty Lifeliner because it's super precise, and I think I'll be able to get nice, precise lines. So some of them are up higher. I'm gonna do it like right here. I feel like I'm going cross-eyed because I'm looking in this little mirror and I'm like looking to the side. Okay, this is going to be difficult. How do I do an N backwards? So aside from this, basically the next like major part of her, most iconic part, is her nice bright red lip. So I'm going to go in with my Milani Color Statement Lip Liner in 02 True Red. So that is the finished makeup look. Now let's go ahead with hair. So for the hair look, I did go ahead and straighten my hair because her hair, it's not like super curly everywhere. So she has it in her infamous pigtails with like little curls at the bottom. So what I'm gonna do is just kind of part it on two sides and just do some really like loose curls. So I'm gonna go ahead and take my curling wand. You could use a straightener, you could use, you know, any type of, however you want to curl your hair. So what I'm going to do is take each side and kind of piece it off in larger sections. I would normally do smaller sections than this if I'm going to curl my hair for it to be like nice and curly, but I don't really care about it being super curly. So I'm just going to take big sections and do about the lower half of my hair. Because I did a bigger section, I'm going to have to hold it for like a little bit longer. And then I'm going to hold the curl, sure that it's curly enough. I'm really gonna be worried about it Like, do you see how it's just like really loose? It's kind of what I want. I might do a little bit thinner, like a little bit smaller pieces, so it's just a tiny bit curlier. You could also like get a wig, but I just got my hair recently dyed, so I'm blonde enough. Oh, also forgot to mention, Harley Quinn, one of her most iconic looks is her hair, and it is the pigtails, as I said, but she also does have like the pink hair just on the tips and then the blue side. I'm not dyeing my hair, even like washable, because this is fresh blonde and I've never gone blonde before, so I'm not ruining it. So now I'm just gonna kind of run my fingers lightly through so it's like super loose. She does have a middle part going all the way to the back, completely separating the two sides. And she does super high pigtails. Obviously I have brown roots, but you also can get red and blue hair ties if you want to be like super exact. But I think this is gonna be a close enough. It's more about the makeup for today's video. You want to try to match them, so try to put them on the same place. The last thing is she has like little pieces coming down both sides. Ouch, I should have done this first. Ow, I recommend doing that first. That hurt. We're learning here together, guys. So make sure you separate the pieces first because it will hurt and potentially ruin your pigtails. Well, all right, guys, this is the finished look. I hope you guys enjoyed. I had so much fun creating this. If you do this for Halloween, I encourage you guys to take a photo, and if you post it on any type of social media, tag me. All my social media is down below. I'd love to see your recreations of my tutorial. If you don't, I hope you had fun watching anyways. Happy Halloween, everybody. Stay tuned for Thursday to see my next Halloween tutorial. Thank you so much for watching. Give me a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel and have an absolutely spooktacular day. Bye, guys.